Yo Hazel, what's crack lacking? We're just going to go through the banded reverse leg extension. I'm giving you this longer tutorial via WhatsApp and I've got a short tutorial for you on TrainerEyes. This longer one is just so you can get a full understanding of the movement and understand all the different ways you can progress it. And then on TrainerEyes will just be a smaller one to go over the technique. So yeah, the banded reverse leg extension. We're doing this exercise for your quads and also to break up the tissue between your hamstring and calf at the back, but it's mainly the quads that are going to be doing the work themselves. This is what it looks like first. I'm just going to demonstrate it for you and then we'll break down the technique. So it looks like this. Easy enough. All you're going to need first is a surface to be able to set up on. You want the surface to be anything between about knee height all the way up to about hip height. It doesn't really matter where you start off with. The higher you start off with, it's going to be a bit easier. I'm starting here with just something that's at like mid-thigh height. And then the next thing you want is you want a band. I'll start off with the thinnest band for this one, but I'm just using the black one right now. I reckon you'll probably end up with this one for the rep range that we're going to do, which is about 10 to 20. But anyway, you're going to throw your band behind your knees and you want to throw your hands through it. So you want to get your fingers through and then your thumb's going to be on the outside. You can do it the other way if you want to, but I find that this is a bit more secure. And then to set up for the exercise, you're just going to go over to your object. You want to put your hands on it first. And what we want is we want your knees to be as bent as they can do starting off. So I've got my hands on the object first, just so I've got a bit of support. And then I'm going to walk my legs back a little bit. And I'm just going to bend my knees right towards the object. And really, it can be as far as you feel comfortable. So you can either keep your heels on the floor and just go as far as you can there, or you can take a bit of a step further back. And you can take your heels right off the ground and just come with your toes right towards the object. But once you're set up here, the next thing that we do is we just make sure that enough slack is taken off the band. So wherever it is that I'm set up, I want my hands to be far enough forward that there's definitely a lot of tension running through the band. And then from there we can get into the exercise. We just want to keep our back straight, chin tucked in, and then we're just going to push our knees backwards, aiming to drive the heels into the floor and get a full leg extension. So it will just look like this. And then if I want to increase the difficulty of the exercise, I know it's a bit hard to see from there, but it's very, very easy. All I need to do is I can either walk my hands further along the object and it's going to take more slack out the band and increase the resistance there, or I can just walk my feet themselves a little bit further away and I can get a bigger knee bend and I can push right back from there, and there's a lot more resistance in the band now, so this is an absolute killer. I'll definitely say walking back feels pretty intense. And the other thing you can do, of course, is you can get a stronger band, or you can get your resistance band, and you can make it shorter in the middle by just doing a couple of loops over the middle of it, and that'll shorten the band and create more resistance in it, so if you do it again, it'll be harder. That's all the different ways you can progress the movement. Now, what I'd say is you want to work at doing like 3 sets of 10 to 20 reps with this exercise, and I would just first get comfortable with the movement. Yeah, first get comfortable with the movement, see where your limits are going to be for it, and if everything feels okay with it, whatever height it is that you start with, that you kind of feel is going to be comfortable after the first session, I would just build up to doing a point where you feel like the difficulty is about 3 levels higher than when you started. So maybe at first, you first increase the difficulty by walking the hands forward, and then maybe you walk a little bit further backward, and then maybe you cross over the band a couple of times and shorten the band down that way, and work up one of those 3 stages. Now, once you are able to do the level that you're doing, we would then want you to slowly progress down to a lower object. And if you progress down to a lower object whilst always keeping that chest proud, that's when we really start getting a lot more flexibility in with the exercise as well. So if I was doing it on this, for instance, my bench here, which is a much lower surface than before, now when I go and extend those legs fully, you can see I'm a lot more parallel to the ground, and now I'm getting that bit more of a stretch between my hamstrings and calves. And if we got to the point one day where we could build this up to even lower, like if we're doing it on an object that is down by shin height or even all the way to the floor, you can see that from here it really is a big stretching exercise now. And that's how that one goes. Now, last little tidbit for this might be, what if you don't have an object that's low enough? Is there any other way how you can get this exercise going? And there is. You can use a door anchor and you can do it through a door. So if I go and get your bands and stuff first, if you have a door anchor, it's going to be as easy as just throwing the band right through it and throwing that behind the door, and then I'll go through the other technique with you. But instead, you'd want to throw the band directly through the loop. If you don't have a door anchor, you can get 2 strong fabric bands. You can put one through the other, and there you go, you have a door anchor that just one side of it goes like that. And yeah, this part here goes in the back of the door, and I would just get this band, I would feed it through there, and voila, I would just throw this band around the door. I'm going to do it with this one just to demonstrate that it really is okay. But throw it through there. Whoop. Door anchors on the other side. I'm sure I could probably set that up a little bit easier, but you know, these videos don't unfortunately always come with grace. So yeah, now that I've got that through the door, and my band is through either side of the door anchor, just should that look better. I'm now in a position where I can step into either side of the band. So I'll put one over one leg. I could obviously put this down to the floor as well and just pull it up, and that'd be easier. Get the other leg through there. And now I'm able to do a similar kind of movement as before. I might want to tie this band up in half and get this to be even shorter, maybe shorten down the length of the other band there. But from here, I can rest out on a surface. I might want to put a chair or something like that next to me. I can just push those knees back, and now I'm going to get that same reverse leg extension that I was looking for before. You know, other ways I can increase the difficulty of that is I can use more than one band. I could throw this over and a thinner band across it. Obviously, I can use a heavier band. Or as I said, I can try and decrease that, get that a little bit shorter on the other side. And all those things will help to increase tension. And then with something like that, we would just walk our hands slowly down the wall. That's another way we can increase the difficulty. So yeah, find out what setup's going to work for you first. Find out what's going to be challenging rep ranges and stuff for you. Find out if this exercise is comfortable. And if you have any other questions or anything like that, let us know. And I'll be here to help you out. As always, homegirl, much love.